Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And on this edition, we got a special guest with us in the building. It's been a minute since we had him here on the State of the Saints podcast, but it's always a pleasure. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know him from his no-nonsense takes when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, a straight shooter along with his partner in crime, Adam, on the Saints Block Party, always giving us the straight shot, no chaser. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Ryan in the building. Ryan Hinton. Ryan, what's going on, man?
What's happening, baby? What's good? What's good?
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for stopping by the State of the Saints podcast. First, man, my first question for you is just about that, man. Like you and Adam, y'all do an outstanding job on the Saints Block Party. You guys have a really good platform there. How did that start, man? Because it just seems like you two just kind of feed off one another, and it seems like y'all kind of on the same page, man. So how did that get started?
Oh man, like I just really all Saints Twitter, bro. Like, just I knew Adam from Saints Twitter going back like 2011, 2012. We just got cool talking about the Saints. We had a lot of similarities in just how we viewed the team and football and stuff like that. Got cool over the years. He'd come down to New Orleans, hang out with us and all that stuff. Yeah. And we just got tight. I wasn't even trying to podcast. I always thought about it, but I was like, I'm not really a podcasting type. I don't have a radio voice. I'm not super talkative and all that stuff. I love talking about football though.
Right.
So he talked me into just doing like a one episode once back when we were the Saints Twitter podcast, just to get like Tony Pauline, who we kind of knew, who covers the draft, just to kind of get him on and pick his brain or whatever. Yeah. Which was going to do one episode, pick his brain about the Saints, and that's it. That's it for the podcast.
Right.
And it got like 100 downloads. And I was like, shit, man, let's do another episode. And it ain't never stopped since, bro. We've been recording at least once to twice a week since then for 5 years, bro.
Hey, man, and like I said, y'all do an outstanding job, man. And being from the city, I know a lot of passion like comes with this team, man. And and I also just look at the connection that you have with the fan base, man. Like, so I mean, you all have done like pop-ups and man, just get a huge following, just comes out there and support you all, man. So, what did that mean, man, to know that you started something so special to a point that people are following what you're doing and also have an appreciation for it?
Oh man, honestly, that means everything. Like that's what makes me and Adam want to keep doing the podcast, because honestly, like Saints football ain't that exciting right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we love it, because we sickos. We love everything about football, whether it's win or lose. But it's not the most exciting team to cover right now. But that's what the community we built is everything. You know what I'm saying? We got our, we have our Patreon subscriber account where people could pay to contribute to our podcast, and that kind of turned into like a little community. Our Discord, stuff like that. We do meetups a few times a year where everybody comes down, they come to the city, watch a Saints game, or meet up at the draft, get together, and we've all, like a lot of us have become close friends. Like some of my best friends in my life right now come from this community we built. So it's pretty cool, bro. Like that's what's really keeping us going with this whole thing,
Yeah, I mean it's nothing like the fan base, and also just gaining the credibility and the respect and love for the community, man. Once again,
Right.
doing an outstanding job, Saints Block Party.
Appreciate
We're,
that,
we're
bro.
gonna make sure before you get out of here, you can plug everything. And I know a lot of people already know who you are, but we got to talk.
Maybe not. Maybe not. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
hey,
I
man.
got different
Hey,
fan
y'all
bases,
popping.
you know?
Hey, man, don't be acting like y'all be having them heavy hitters over there, man.
Yeah, man, we
They know.
trying, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I see you too, bro. I see you. You know?
Man. Yeah, but look, let's go ahead and talk New Orleans Saints, man. Let's talk a little bit about that. You mentioned it. There's not much, going on get the fan base excited. Yeah, they had a few guys that they signed to the team. Divine Godshaw, a Louisiana guy, Justin Reed, Louisiana guy. I guess from that particular standpoint, we love our Louisiana guys, but what are your overall thoughts on some of the selections? Are you shocked that some of the guys that they brought in? Are you shocked at some of the additions? Not the additions, but the guys that they brought back. And if so, who are the individuals that shock you the most?
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything shocked me. Because honestly, Loomis had that presser like after the season, and he kind of laid out what he thought about where the team was. He said, he thought this was a good roster and a good team in 2024 that just was injured. He said that over and over. And when you see how free agency played out, it played out like that. They brought back Jawan Johnson. They brought back who else? Who else they bring back?
Chase Young.
Chase Young. They started reaching back to the past, brought Will Clapp back. So they just approached it like they brought Isaac Yadam back, from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they took the approach with like, let's stick to what we know. We don't have to blow this thing up. Everybody's been screaming about them. Blow it up, reset, reset, reset. It's just not how they work, bro. It's not how Mickey Loomis operates. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So they went. They're at a point now with their stance in the NFL where they like either have to overpay players to come or have some kind of connection that makes them want to come, so they can go get a Justin Reed who has a Louisiana connection. They trade for Gottschall who has a Louisiana connection. So they're kind of dependent on that right now. Got a new coaching staff. Maybe that's bringing in a little excitement. Yeah. So as far as free agency, man, like it was fine. It wasn't splashy. I didn't expect it to be splashy. Love the Justin Reed signing.
Yeah.
But it felt just weird because you go through the whole thing of restructuring Derek Carr's contract to create all this space and give you flexibility. They have about $30 million in cap space right now. Yeah. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, what I'm saying? It's like, I just can't. They tried to get Cooper Kupp, didn't land that, went back to the past, brought Brandon Cooks back. Fine signing. It's a fine signing. You know what I'm saying? It's a veteran wide receiver. But it's just kind of weird. It's hard to figure out from the outside looking in, like, what is this team doing? Are they reset? Are they rebuilding? Where are they right now? I'm still trying. We've been asking for years, like, what's the vision, bro? Like, what is the vision of this team, bro? I don't know, man.
Yeah, neither do I, man. I can respect from a certain standpoint that Mickey Loomis is doubling down, or in this case, tripling down on his stance on his team and feel like they're close. But I'm just confused because I don't feel like they're that close, man. And it's hard to actually watch this. I just think that in some cases, Mickey Loomis is trying to prove people wrong. And I get it, man. When you're a businessman, you don't want nobody to know that the money is funny, you know what I'm saying? Or you have to, try to, shoot for the moon. If you don't get there, then everything just gonna go awry. But I don't know, man. I look at this team and I just feel like this was a great opportunity for them to kind of turn the page, Ryan, because nobody would have cared. Like, people would have cared if they won or lost, but if the season didn't end up being like, the Saints winning 8 or 9 games, I don't think too many Saints fans would care if they gave the fan base an indication that they were starting over. So do you think it's a mistake that he's looking at it that way? I mean, I get it that, like, to a certain standpoint, I understand the injuries, but do you think it's a mistake that he is willing to triple down like he has, bringing these usual suspects back and thinking that this is going to turn this team around?
Yeah, I do, bro. And I think it's a huge missed opportunity. I mean, you bring in a new head coach. That is your ultimate reset time. New head coach, new staff. I think most of the fan base would have completely understood. Look, we got a lot of work to do. Let's kind of not rip, not I wouldn't say tank. I wouldn't say rip it down to the studs.
Right.
But let's do like a real hard look and a reset
Mm-hmm.
and rebuild the foundation. Make sure the foundations are set and then
Yeah.
build on top of that. And maybe you have a 5 or 6 win season that doesn't look great.
Right.
But I think the Saints fans were kind of prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? I think they
Right.
could have handled that as long as we see that you're building towards something. I always point back to the Detroit Lions a couple years ago when they first hired Campbell, his first season. They didn't win a lot of games.
Right.
You know, it was rough. But if you watch them, you're like, man, they building something over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you get that quarterback right, if you get a couple of pieces here and there, you can see the coaching. You can see that there's working. It's just they lack talent.
Yep.
And I think the Saints had an opportunity to kind of get to that point and start building that. But, man, they don't think like that, bro. They like, shit, we right there. Vision right there. The division is trash. All we got to do is, swing together another 3-4 wins. We right there winning the division. And that's all they really want, bro. That's all Loomis really cares about is getting that, NFC South banner, hanging another one up in the dome. And it's like, that's it. Like, that's good enough for them. That's going to keep their job solid.
Yeah. I think also what plays a role is he understands that he's pretty much a made man down there on airline, bro. Like, if you feel like your job is on the line, right? I mean, you might do a little extra, to make sure that your job is solidified. Like, he can keep on fumbling the bag constantly, and he don't have to worry about what some of these other general managers have to worry about. I don't look at Gail Benson, looking at Mickey Loomis if this season doesn't turn out the way that he feels, and she's end up firing him. And I think that's the biggest issue. I just think that when it comes down to competitive sports, when you're working in the front office, I think they need a level of competitiveness inside of there. I don't think that anybody, I don't care if you're one of the highest executives, you've been a general manager for several years. I still feel like there needs to be a level of fire that's under you that keeps that keep it ignited so you can go out here and make some of these decisions. But the Saints did hire Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator of the Eagles, won a Super Bowl, comes to New Orleans, going to be the youngest head coach when the season starts. What are your thoughts on Kellen Moore so far? Do you think it was the right decision for the Saints? And if so, like, what are you looking for Kellen Moore in 2025?
It was a good move, bro. Like, we kind of pinpointed him early in the head coaching search process. Like, that's an interesting name right there because a lot of people was talking about Joe Brady.
Right.
Adam, me and Adam was like, shoot, I mean, Kellen Moore got more pelts on the wall than Joe Brady at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not look at him?
Yeah.
And look, the Saints had limited options, outside of Aaron Glenn. Once he made his move, the options were limited. But I like the idea of bringing in the offensive head coach. Right. I did like a statistical study myself looking back. There's a better hit percentage with offensive head coaches overall, just overall in the playoffs, going to Super Bowls, just overall. Not saying that defensive coaches can't be successful, but offensive head coaches tend to. And I wanted to go younger, some fresh ideas and stuff like that. And so he checked all those boxes. My biggest question with Kellen Moore, and I still have this question, is can he balance out Mickey Loomis? Can he be the guy that's like Sean Payton used to be, where, Sean Payton is going to tell you how he feel. He's going to go up. If he wants something, he's going to let you know. Like, if I want this quarterback, if I want this offensive lineman, defensive player, he's going to bang that table and shake the table until he gets it. Yeah. And I want to see if Kellen Moore has that backbone, because that was like the question with him for everybody. Like, is he a leader? Is he a leader of men? I'm not too worried about him leading players. I think he's shown he could do that. Everybody has their own style of leadership. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. But I'm really wondering how he balances out the management structure with the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be a yes man. And I think the biggest concern that Saints fans have is similar to what you have. I think a lot of people look at Kellen Moore with his time with the Dallas Cowboys. And we know how Jerry Jones is, as the owner and general manager. He pretty much picks and chooses who he wants to go where. And, it's not really up to the head coach. So a lot of people feel like maybe, that's his background. That's where he started. Hopefully, things don't be the way that it was in Dallas. But I don't get that from him. I don't think that the Saints would have hired him for that. And I honestly don't feel like he would have accepted the job. I mean, this wasn't a highly touted job. Like, to me, we know that it took the Saints a long period of time to find Kellen Moore. So I don't think the New Orleans Saints had any type of leverage. I think that he went to that table with a lot of leverage. And I think that the Saints have to get him involved. I mean, are you concerned about maybe the combination of Kellen Moore and Jeff Ireland? And what I mean by that is, are you concerned maybe if Jeff Ireland won't allow Kellen Moore to select the guys? I mean, I read and saw at his press conference when he was at the owners meeting that he and Jeff Ireland are working together. But do you feel like that is the case? And what does Jeff Ireland have to do in order for Kellen Moore to feel comfortable?
I mean, that's my ultimate question. Like, I think ultimately, if Kellen pushes the issue, he'll get what he wants. Mm-hmm. But there's how it is. Man, like in any company, there's these power struggles.
Right.
Everybody protecting their desks. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Jeff Ireland wants to be the one to pick every pick. Right. And I'm sure Mickey Loomis, he wants to get in there and to get his hands in it. And Kellen Moore, I want to know, if he has a guy in that first round picking that 9, does he have the juice in the room, which he should have? Y'all just flew out to Philly and picked me up in a private jet and signed me to a big contract. He should have the juice in the room to be like, man, I love player X. I love him. Let's go get him. I'm coaching this team. I didn't win a Super Bowl. I didn't coach Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. Man, I want my quarterback. He should have the juice to do that. And I think Jeff Ireland is amenable to that. Yeah. Question is, will Loomis allow him that space? Yeah. Some people think he does. Some people think he didn't. From what I hear, we reported this constantly that Kellen Moore did not want Derek Carr as his quarterback when he was being hired. He did not want it. We got that from good, credible sources. People question our sources. All good. Question all you want, but it is what it is. He did not want Carr as his quarterback. Somewhere along the line from when he got hired to as we got the free agency, he either changed his mind or was convinced it was the best option to just roll with Carr for the cap purposes, because they had to restructure his cap so they could have space to do free agency, blah, 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 blah. He came out and said, "Oh, I love Derek Carr, blah, 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 blah." He can say what he wants, but we know the truth. Right. But if that's the case, if that's really the case, then I don't see how that's. And now we're hearing all this stuff about Carr that want to be here. He wanted to be traded. A couple of weeks ago, we're hearing he still wants out. Like, I don't see how that's just a situation that's going to work, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the quarterback has to be in 100%. Right. And Kellen Moore is a quarterback guy. He's a quarterback head coach, a quarterback guru, if that's what you want to call him.
Yep.
So he needs somebody that's going to be, that he's going to work with on his hip, and I don't. Right now, we just don't have that, man. I don't see that. I don't see that working right now. So it's just going to be interesting to see how all that works out and where, Kellen Moore uses his gravitas. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can he make happen?
Yeah. I don't see any way that Derek Carr and the Saints fan base going to be able to coexist in 2025. I don't, man. Like, I think that bridge is burned down. I think that the Saints are setting this man up for one of the worst seasons of his career. Like, anything that goes wrong, they're gonna boo the hell out that boy every single week, man. I just and I do agree with what you're saying, and trust and believe when you talk about people not believing the sources. Trust and believe. I mean, we I know you know. Get our fair share of backlash over here, but I agree. You got to allow him to select his quarterback. And I also found very interesting at the owners meeting when he was talking. He talked about Derek Carr, but he said the organization brought in Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener. He didn't say we. He didn't say we. So to me,
Caught that, huh?
I don't think it's a coincidence that they're flying to all of these pro days with these quarterbacks, and you have your top 30 meetings. You want to pick those guys, like you want to pick the best guys, and those guys are more than likely going to be some individuals. If they're there, you're going to select. You're not going to bring Quinn Ewers in. You're not going to, be flying out to Jackson Dart's pro day if you're not serious about a quarterback. If the Saints have an opportunity to get a quarterback at 9, let's just say, for example, a lot of stories are saying Shedeur Sanders may drop. Do you think that the Saints need to select Shedeur Sanders with the 9th pick in the draft? Because, this could be a guy that could be the future of your franchise. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't think they have to. I don't think they have to go select Sanders or any quarterback. But if Kellen Moore loves him or really likes him, you know what I'm saying? I think they need to. It's time to stop messing around, bro. And let's. The Saints haven't drafted a quarterback in the top 2 rounds since 1971, bro. 50-something years. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to turn the page, start a new chapter. Whether that's Sanders, whether that's trying to trade up for Cam Ward, Jackson Dart being talked about at 9. People could argue about that, but at some point you need to turn the page. You know what I'm saying? So I understand either route. Like if they want to say, let's just work on the roster, keep building. Got Derek Carr for a year. You got Spencer Rattler in the building. Fine with me. If they want to go be aggressive and go get a quarterback, that's fine with me too. I would actually love that because I at least know for like the next 2 or 3 years, they turn in a new chapter and there could be some hope. Maybe it don't work out. Maybe it just fails miserably. Whoever quarterback they select and it fails miserably, which happens a lot with a lot of teams. Okay, you move on. Like teams pick bad quarterbacks every year, bro. Like the freaking 49ers selected Trey Lance, traded up to number 3 overall, selected Trey Lance a couple of years ago and was in the Super Bowl without him like 2 years later. Like it happens, man. Like things like that happen. So they need to stop fighting around and let's just get this quarterback in the 4th round, or let's just go draft this. Let's go sign this, 30-something-year-old free agent quarterback and see if we can get something out of him. You lucked up with Drew Brees. You hit the lotto catching Drew Brees coming off an injury in 2006. That was just starting to reach his prime. You will never get that opportunity again. Like the stars just align for that one time. You can't expect that to happen again. So they really just need to stop messing around with it and go get their guy, bro. And we know, from our sources, we know they love Cam Ward, love him, not like him a little. They have a very high grade on Cam Ward. Now, Titans picking number 1 overall, they're in complete control of that process. Do the Saints trade up, try to go get him? Are they trying to trade up? We know the Saints aggressive, bro. We know when they want somebody, they gonna try their best to go get him. We have on good authority. They really did try to go get Michael Penix Jr. last year, and it didn't happen. It was reported by NFL Network, and it was kind of immediately shot down by the team. But we have on good authority that they really did try to go get him. So the QB. The QB thirst is in the building. The Saints are thirsty for a QB. We know that, but are they thirsty enough, across the building, where everybody's aligned to actually go make the move? I don't know.
My question is, why wouldn't you want to make that decision? Because when I think about the New Orleans Saints, we talked about it at the beginning of this. When you think about Mickey Loomis, he's talking about winning now. But if you ask any Saints fan, what are the chances of the Saints making a deep run in the postseason? They probably tell you slim to none. So the way that I'm thinking, if the Saints were to get a quarterback at 9, I don't think that anybody should have an argument like, man, what are they doing? Like, you're preparing for the future. You're trying to make sure that your future is solidified. You think about the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, they went to the postseason with Alex Smith as their quarterback. In the 1st round, they got Patrick Mahomes. Now, we know what Patrick Mahomes is now, but he was a quarterback coming from Texas Tech. Texas Tech isn't one of the most popular college football teams. They've had a couple guys that come through there like Michael Crabtree and stuff, but they're not a household name, and they're not a football factory. So everybody just kind of fell in love with the skill set. He sat on the bench for the first year. He started in one game, I want to say the last game of the season when they had everything wrapped up. And they decided to let Alex Smith go to the then Redskins, and he started the next year and he won league MVP. All I'm saying is I'm okay with a quarterback sitting on the bench. Jordan Love sat on the bench for Aaron Rodgers. The first 2 seasons he's went to the postseason, right? Sometimes like that quarterback and him waiting can end up being something very, very special for your franchise. So I don't have a problem with that. My next question is to you is, what direction should the Saints be going in? Like, I get it that if you have a win now mentality, you might want to get guys that fill a void right now. But should the Saints be looking at guys that could possibly be cornerstone guys? For example, you just signed Juwan Johnson to a 3-year deal, but let's just say you're in love with Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State. Should you still try to draft a guy like that because he has that capability of maybe being the next Rob Gronkowski? What are you doing if you're sitting in the Saints war room on draft day?
What am I doing, or what do I think the Saints will do?
You know, like just put yourself in that position. I'm talking about like if it was you. Are you looking to try to fill a void at this particular time, or are you looking at individuals that can possibly be cornerstone guys, even if you may have one position solidified? Like I said, like a tight end, like Juwan Johnson is going to start. Alvin is going to start, but you can possibly draft Ashton Genty. Like, what are you doing with that draft pick?
For me, like you talked about, cornerstone guy. If Mason Graham is there, and some people expect him to not be there, but I mean, I just get a feeling that he might be there, bro. Like if he gets past Jacksonville, Mason Graham might really be there at 9, and because I just don't think he's a Panther. And if he's there at 9, bro, like I'm running that card up. Like I'm running that card up.
That's my
so
guy.
Quick.
That's my guy, man.
just a good player, bro. That's a cornerstone guy, just like you said. So that would be my first. I know for a fact the Saints really like Tyler Warren. Like they love him a lot. I like him a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love him at like just because there's so many other good tight ends in this draft. I don't know if I love him at 9, but I wouldn't be mad at it. Like if the Saints took, Tyler Warren at 9, you have him and Juwan Johnson and Kellen Moore. We know Kellen Moore likes to feature the tight end.
Yeah.
I think they could, they could cook like that. So at 9, bro, I'm just really trying to leave. If it's not a quarterback, I'm trying to leave with somebody that I know is going to contribute early and that can build into like one of those core players like we had with Alvin and Marshawn Lattimore and all those players we had in that draft. Michael Thomas the year before, David Onyemata, just good players that fill out a roster. That's what I'm trying to get at 9. Not all these little developmental guys. If you squint look like, man, I know he doesn't have any production, but man, I don't want to hear all that. I want production. I want good school. I want when you put on a tape and you look and it's like, oh, okay, you see it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to squint and project, 3 years down the road that maybe it'll no, I want to see it now. I love Jalen Walker out of Georgia.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that he might not be on the Saints board or radar, or maybe he doesn't meet their metrics because he's kind of in this weird tweener spot because he plays a lot of off-ball linebacker. But he could kind of be an edge. He's really good at edge, but he's not designed. His body's not designed like an edge. So I don't know if the Saints love him like that. I would love him because he's just like a football player. Like I'd be like, get that player on my team. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if not, Mason Graham, Ted McMillan, I know they really like him. A lot of questions about him right now, just as far as like his athletic upside and kind of how much he's willing to be into the game and stuff. I'm not really worried about that. I think he would. What I like about him, even though I definitely realize his flaws and some of his flaws do worry me, I do think he fits the Saints wide receiver core. Like I think if you plug him in next to Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, the receiver core makes sense then. Okay, I could see every dimension. Maybe we'll still need like another physical over the middle type guy. Yeah. But I could see the entire dimension of the wide receiver room. So all those guys make sense there, bro. I just want a guy that's gonna come in and like be good, man. Like be good day one and continue to develop.
Yeah. One thing that impressed me about Mason Graham when I agree with you, like how you feel about him. Like if he's there, like I don't care what you got on the board, you select him. They were playing against Texas, and you remember they got beat to sleep by Texas early in the season, but he didn't get the memo. This guy was still flying around the field. Like, I mean, the game was pretty much insurmountable. Like it was an insurmountable lead that they were facing, but he still was flying around the field. And I'm like, see, that's what I like. See, we fall in love with the highlight reels. We'll go to YouTube. We'll go, on Twitter, and oh man, look at this dude. I'm looking at the guys who got that dog in them during adverse times, like when a game on the line. Like, what more do you have to give? And if you are given that guy never quit on a play. I didn't see it, and I think that is, I mean, that checks all the boxes in my opinion. If he's there, you take him. But the Saints definitely need one of those larger receivers, like Teteroa McMillan is. It's been a minute since Michael Thomas has played some really productive Saints football, and I think that he has left a huge void to fill, and they haven't filled that. And no disrespect to Brandon Cook, good player, but he doesn't fit that mold. So, I mean, I think that if you bring in McMillan, I think that he'll be able to, really perform. I'm not really concerned about, all that tape stuff. That was like 2 years ago. But how I go, Ryan. Like these teams are trying to get a competitive advantage over the other. So if they got some film, if they got a story that can, paint a player in a negative light, and maybe even the teams that feel like they can get him if they can convince these other top teams not to, they'll put it out there. So it's all about competition. So the Saints definitely could use a guy like McMillan. My final question for you is about the Saints 2025 season and the overall record. Now, Vegas have them at 5.5. We know that the Saints only had 5 wins last season. They had some unforeseen circumstances. I mean, everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Saints, and they went 5-12. Do you see history repeating itself? Do you feel like the Saints could win more than 5 games?
It's tough right now, bro. Like if like this was the roster, put the draft to the side. Like if this was the roster going into 2025, it's gonna be like 5 wins is probably the max, bro. Like even with Derek Carr starting every game,
even with Derek
starting, if he started every game, which he hasn't done, like Derek Carr has not started every game in the NFL team for like 3 years. But if he did, even that'd be stuff for 5. Because here's the thing, we've been so used to seeing like a consistent Saints defense for years now.
Yeah,
it's been on decline for like 2 years now, man. Yeah. And we're bringing in a completely new system with Brandon Staley, complete philosophical change from what it's been for over a decade now.
Yep.
So it's gonna take some time. We might not have all the pieces to play. I'm expecting like a defense that's not gonna be very good early. And you give the defense allowed Derek Carr to kind of be in game. So he was kind of able to hang around where we was able to squeak out a couple wins.
Right.
If he don't have that and he gotta his arm gotta win us game, boy,
it's gonna be rough.
It could get dark, bro.
Right.
Now, like I said, like we got a draft coming up. Maybe they go get like a fire running back. Maybe they go get a wide receiver, a tight end, or something like that. Maybe they go draft a defensive player that could kind of be like a centerpiece. They got like $30 million in cap space. Maybe they work out a trade somewhere later.
Right.
Maybe they sign somebody later, Dallas Goedert or something like that. Who knows? So that could change. And look, there's the Kellen Moore, wild card. Like maybe he's a hell of a coach. Maybe he just knows how to scheme up things, come up with gimmick plays, and get guys to go do different things that'll squeak out some wins. So look, like I'm trying not to be a Debbie Downer. Maybe they do squeeze out 7-8 wins. And maybe they do shock everybody and really go on a burner, we'll see. But it's just hard for me to predict that. Like I probably would take the under on that 5.5 right now, bro. Like I gotta see more. That's all I'm saying. I gotta see more.
I agree.
I say over. I gotta see more, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think if you're evaluating a team, you're evaluating the team, number one, with your heart instead of your head. Like we all are emotionally invested in this football team. Like we don't want the worst to happen, so we'll automatically give them the benefit of the doubt. But you can't look at it from, you know, teams of the past. You know, you can't compare it to the modern day Saints, because the further, like, we are getting further and further away from what a lot of Saints fans, especially like the ones in their 20s and their early 30s, are used to. This is not the same team. And
so
like,
true, bro.
yeah. And so you talked about, you know, a new head coach in Kellen Moore, a new defensive coordinator in Brandon Staley. It's going to have to come together. Nobody knows what it's going to look like. We indicate, you know, that it can possibly work, but we don't know. And they definitely got to get some more pieces on this football team to make it look more appealing and make it more exciting for Saints fans. No doubt about that, man.
Need some juice, man.
Yeah, need some energy, man. That's why, you know, they got to do something special with that 9th pick, Ryan. They got to, man. Like they got to do something to try to galvanize this fan base, because right now, man, our allegiance is the only thing that's keeping us around here. Like if you didn't love this football team, like we were talking, you know, before the show started, we both from the city, you know, like we both were born and raised there, and you know, we were around the same age. You know, man, the Saints weren't very good growing up, but we still had that love for them, bro. So that's what kept us around. I mean, we don't want that to be the only reason why we still around these parts, man. So hopefully they can figure this issue out so we can go ahead and try to get back to some winning and some football that's watchable, man, because they've been boring as hell, bro.
Boring, bro. Like people kind of get on us sometimes with our podcast. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, y'all so negative." It's like, bro, what y'all? I would love for the Saints, like those first 2 games last year, bro. I mean, we was on a Greg Rosenthal podcast talking about the Super Bowl and everything, bro. Like we was, like, it was nice, man. Like the you know, interactions with the podcast was rolling. It was just fun. We was like, I want the team to be good and fun and exciting, man. I want that.
Yeah.
But it's like right now they just not serving to us, and it's hard, bro. It's hard, you know, trying to. And, you know, sometimes they don't make it easy too, because the Saints just be doing something crazy stuff. But it's like, oh, damn, really? You know, so I want the Saints to just be fun. Like, okay, we know you might not win. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Not going to win the next year. But be fun, have a plan. You know, give us something to watch on Sunday that we could just enjoy, man. But instead of all this other stuff like y'all been doing, just trying to. I don't know what they're trying to reach for. Like, what do you really want with Derek Carr as your starting quarterback? Like, what are you trying to sell us right now? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know what they're trying to sell us, but I know what people are gonna be doing. They're gonna be selling them tickets. I can tell you that right now. So they're gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to figure it out, man. But Ryan, thank you so much for stopping by the State of the Saints podcast. Always a pleasure to chop it up with you, man. I just get a kick out of some of your tweets. It's amazing, man. I don't think I ever told you, man. It's so amazing how like-minded and some of the things that, you know, the similarities we have about things that we care about. Like, so, man, I enjoy, you know, your tweets, and also, man, just your no-nonsense approach when it comes to the team. But let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, man.
I appreciate it, TJ. Man, add that boy Wolf on Twitter. Same thing on Blue Sky. I don't post that much, but I'm on there. Saints Block Party Podcast on YouTube. Any podcaster you got, you know, Saints Block Party Podcast. Come find us. You know, check us out. Download. Just check us out. Watch one episode. If you don't like it, fine. If you love it, subscribe. You know, and just roll with us. We are just like normal fans that love the team, and we feel like nobody's gonna talk about the team like we can, because we've been in the mud with this team, like, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna talk about this team from the background to what you see on the screen, you know. So just give us a shot, give us a follow. You know, if you don't like it, understand, but just give us a try.
Yeah, man, please give them a try. They work extremely hard over there. I guarantee you, if you love the New Orleans Saints and you want to know nonsense approach and some real talk, not this fluff stuff that be going out here, real Saints talk. Make sure you check out the Saints Block Party with Adam and Ryan. Make sure you follow them on Twitter or X at @ThatBoyWolf. Ryan, I really do appreciate it, man.
Much love, TJ. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right.
Yeah, shouts out to Ryan, man. Shouts out to him. Good brother right there, man. Knows his stuff, knows his football. Fellow New Orleanian like myself, man. Shouts out to the West Bank. Yeah, man. But yeah, they just they got to do something to excite the fan base. That is what this is all about, man. Trying to galvanize this fan base, trying to bring people back around, man. The allegiance and the love that the Saints fans have for this team is just the only thing really keeping most of us around. You know, me personally, I love this football team. I just seen the worst, but Lord knows on some of these Sundays, I'd rather have something else to do with my time, right? I mean, if I didn't love doing the State of the Saints and Bleacher Report after every Saints game, I mean, I'd probably be cutting my yard and doing something, you know, with my time. But they're going to have to figure this thing out. I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to acknowledge the chat. Shouts out to everybody here. I really do appreciate that. Shouts out to all of you. I want to let you know that starting tomorrow, you will be able to check out the State of the Saints podcast in audio form. I know a lot of people have been asking for that, and I apologize, man. That's on me. You know, I just kind of got lazy with it, then, you know, converted to audio form, but you'll be able to get the State of the Saints podcast in audio form. And also, man, I do want to acknowledge this right here, man, because this is something that's near and dear to me. I'm very proud of this. My son today received his first T-ball jersey. He started playing T-ball, you know, a few weeks ago, and he finally got his jersey, man. So y'all check out my little man right there, Pac-Man. Gonna be playing first baseman, man, for the Blue Rocks. So, you know, I'm a Blue Rocks fan. Shouts out to him, man. My little man out there hustling hard and trying to learn the game of baseball, man. So I'm extremely proud of him, man. He's showing a lot of hustle out there. But let's go ahead and read some of these comments. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments, man. We'll start with Addison, and I'm gonna start right here. I always just select the spot, and you know, it's not a episode that don't go by, man. You don't be showing me no love, TJ. You don't be showing me no love. It's nothing like that. Okay, I appreciate and love everybody here, but sometimes, you know, I just find a starting point. So if you don't hear your question or your comment, and you probably put it in there early, and you want me to read it, please copy and paste and put it down below. All right, charge it to my head and not my heart. Addison says, and you decide to be a Falcon fan, Art. You fell off like a bad bag, man. Shouts out to Art, because Art has been here. Man, Art has been here probably as long as some of these Saints fans have, man. Art is a Falcon fan. But, you know, I got a lot of respect for him, always showing up, always showing love. And, you know, I really do appreciate that. I appreciate everybody. You know, I seen Brent in the building. Brent is a Bucks fan. You know, I know Go Bucks is in here. You know, I mean, we have fans of other fan bases that show up to this platform, and I appreciate it, man. I mean, we all love football. At the end of the day, we have a difference of opinion when it comes to the team selection, and there's no love lost when our teams play, but we all love football, and we all have our own perspective. So I appreciate you stopping by, and the fact that, you know, most of you I see as usual suspects here just tells us that, you know, we make a platform for everybody. So that's my number one objective, is to make sure that I make content that is enjoyable for everybody, no matter what team that you belong to. You can express that as long as it's respectful, I should say, and you know, we good. I'm ready for the draft too. Going to take away a lot of question marks. Addison, that's going to take away a lot of question marks. Jared says, go Pac, man. Says, congrats to your son, TJ. Yeah, man, my little man out here hustling, man. You know, I got him involved in like all these different sports. I'll be coaching his flag football team in a couple of weeks. I'm excited, man. You know, at first I was just the assistant coach fill in. Now I'll be, you know, the actual coach of the team. And, you know, just watching him go out here and compete, man. That's because that's what it's all about. And just trying to, you know, get him in things where he can have interest. But I think baseball might be that one. You know, I see him like really out there hustling and grinding, man. I think he likes baseball better than the other sports. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Same here, TJ. Archangel, my dude, love him like a brother, but not his team. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's we all sports fans at the end of the day. We just have a difference of opinion when it comes to our team selection. 504 Marrero, TJ, been watching you since 2018. Kevin, I appreciate it because that's where it all started, man. 2018 was when we launched this. I can remember like the first 4 subscribers that I had of the show was my mama, Jerry. My mom, Jerry, and myself on my other channel, and my brother Emmanuel. So that's about 4. And then all of a sudden from there, man, people just start to kind of tap in, and and we've been on this ride ever since, man. So I really do appreciate it, man. Same here. Art says, Coach TJ, go ahead and coach the Saints, bro. We need you. I ain't on that level yet. I'm actually, just learning how to be a coach, man. I'm just, man. I just want to, impact, young kids' lives, man. Especially, my son. I mean, that gives us a connection together. I mean, I don't know that much about baseball, but I'm gonna be volunteering to be a baseball coach. I don't know that much about it, but I just, want to be involved. So, but I do love coaching. I do love coaching football, and I got something cooking up, boy. I got something cooking up. Y'all. I can tell y'all how many Ben Johnson plays I done seen that we about to be running in the spring. We gonna be running them Ben Johnson offensive plays in the spring. You can get some Kellen Moore going up in this thing, man. We about to have some fun. We gonna have some fun, man. But let me go ahead and stroll back up a little bit. Like I said, feel free to put your Saints question in here. We'll go for probably like another 5 minutes. So I'll just answer, 5 minutes of questions and comments. I don't think it'll work out for Shadur in Cleveland or New York because both teams have had coaches and GMs on a hot seat. I agree. That is tough. That's tough when you got Kevin Stefanski out there in Cleveland and you got a general manager and Jimmy Haslett. He's not a very patient man. Then you got the Giants, we already know. Mara, the owner of the team, already said his patience is well and thin with the general manager and head coach Brian Daboll. So I don't doubt. I don't blame. I should say I don't blame those coaches for wanting to maybe go with a more proven product and a seasoned veteran in order to save their behinds. And maybe they'll draft a quarterback, but they're not willing to put all of their eggs in one basket. That's a tough ask for any coach. And also being in a New York market, we already know, man, they ready to boo you. They just try and find ways to boo you. If the media be trying to find ways to bring you down, if they smell blood in the water, guess what? They're going to chomp like they jaws. So I can understand why I'm talking the Giants decided that they wanted to go with Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. When your job is on the line, you want to go with a guy that you feel like has done it. I mean, it's kind of the same way with Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. Derek Carr was a veteran quarterback that Dennis Allen felt like he can win with. Bad mistake, but still, I can understand why he decided to do that. Pac-Man about to be the next Hank Aaron. Salute. Well, I mean, as long as he's out there having a good time, man. Like I said, I'm just happy to see him out there, trying to play first base. If he can just stop playing in the sand between between plays, we'll be all right. Let's see. Started watching when the Saints versus the Bucks after we lost the Thursday night game versus Dallas. Yeah, man. The first episode of the State of the Saints actually was the Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was the first episode. I was just venting my frustrations. I was at the time I was standing around the corner from the radio station I currently manage now, WLGI, and the station manager used to allow me to come over there and like record like different things that, little hobbies that I had, like wrestling. And, so I end up like venting my frustrations out on a mic and I played it back. And I was like, man, I think I can, put this out on YouTube. And I just decided that this is something I can do all the time. And the rest is history, man. We went 12,000 subscribers later. We off and running. Let's see. Demi is laughing. Says y'all know when the season starts. It's on. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's on, man. And hopefully that's not the only thing, right? Like they say, it's on. But I hope it ain't just on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all ever just been cleaning up the house and then all of a sudden, like you have something on that's background noise. You're not really watching, but you don't want to be cleaning in silence. So you turn the TV on, and it may be something that's interesting, or maybe it's something that you probably seen over and over again. My go-to cleanup movie is Harlem Nights. I mean, I already know Harlem Nights. I know all the words, so it's nothing new under the sun when I watch Harlem Nights. Forrest Gump is another, or I probably put on a documentary of something that I'm kind of interested in, but not going to take my attention away from me cleaning this cabinet. I don't want the New Orleans Saints to be that. I don't want New Orleans Saints to be, hey, man, let me go ahead and try to clean this cabinet. Let me go ahead and try to wipe down this refrigerator. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's give the fans something that they can actually be excited about. And hopefully the Falcons can do that for Atlanta Falcon fans and Bucks fans, and Carolina can do it for their fan base. Like, nobody wants to be bored out their freaking mind, especially if you're spending your hard-earned dollars going into these stadiums and domes. And definitely if you're sitting on your couch, man, like, man, you know how much barbecue we eat? You know how much money that we spend? Tailgating, asking our homeboys to come over, like homegirls coming over. Like, that's a lot of money, man. And, you don't want to feel like all that stuff is wasted. Pairing Sanders with Kellen Moore would make sense for him long term because he would be paired up with a rookie coach. Yeah, I mean, kind of same thing with Breeze and Payton, right? Breeze wasn't a rookie, but Sean Payton was a rookie coach. But Drew Brees was, he was a rookie when it comes to, New Orleans Saints, being a quarterback, what I'm saying, that nobody really knew what to expect. I mean, I knew of Drew Brees. I remember Drew Brees when he was in college at Purdue, and I could just remember like Drew Brees throwing the ball 70 times a game. Like, I was always fascinated by that. And I was also fascinated by Drew Brees. He always had a 4.0 GPA. Like, I always was fascinated, fascinated by him, having a high GPA and throwing the ball 63 times. Drew Brees was a Heisman Trophy finalist. So to say that, there was nothing there, I just think that that's just a narrative that people wanted to run with. But Drew Brees was Purdue football. Like, he used to go out there and throw the ball all over the place, man. All over the place. Mine is House Party Original. I know every lyric and dance move. Desi, we gotta see you. we gotta see you move from the kitchen to the living room. You gotta see him move from the kitchen to the living room like Tisha Campbell and your girl did, man, on House Party. I was just amazed at the fact that how they were able to kick off some of these dance moves in such a small space. Like, and nobody ever just starts off dancing like that. Like, y'all ever seen like on the movies, like all of a sudden, like people just have these choreography, choreographer type moves, and they got the choreography going, teaming up, and all of a sudden everybody just move out of the way. Like, nobody do that at the club. Like, if somebody see two people up in that thing jam, you think they gonna break? Like, they'll be like, man, get away from, man. Hey, bro, get on my shoe, dog. Man, you bumping into me. I always just like, come on, man. Like, it be on like all these movies, like all of a sudden, like everybody just gives you the consideration to just move out of your way and just allow you to just break dance. We know that ain't the case. We know that ain't the case, man. But when it comes to Derek Carr, man, look, the Saints gonna have to figure something out. The dude don't want to be here. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. He ain't saying nothing. I don't think that the team necessarily really wanted to keep him here. I just think that it was, like AAA says, it was best for business. It was best for business for the New Orleans Saints to be able to restructure his deal in order for them to get in cap compliance. I think if it was any other situation, they probably would have allowed him to, to walk. But we'll see, man. There's a lot of time left. At least a few more days, but you still got a few more days to figure this thing out. Who knows? You can maybe draft a quarterback. Most people are saying that the Saints aren't interested in Shadur Sanders. I don't understand why. Like, why wouldn't you be interested? Like, it's not like you have a future franchise quarterback that's solidified. Like, I believe in Spencer Rattler. I think that Spencer Rattler has talent, but I don't think anybody in the same facility is anointing him the future of this franchise. So if you have opportunity to get a guy that can be the potential future of the franchise, why the freak not? Who wouldn't want a guy that completed 74% of his passes, 4,034 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 168.7? Who the heck wouldn't want that as their quarterback? Oh, he too blingy. He got his hat turned to the back. That ain't the type of quarterback we want. His hat turned to the back, folks. Oh, no. Everybody knows that's the recipe for disaster. If your hat turned to the back, oh, man, that's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. When you got your hat turned to the back, that's a recipe for disaster. I don't care if you got your hat turned to the back, to the side, ain't got no hat on. I don't care. Can you win football games is what matters to me. But there are several other guys that the Saints can actually choose from. Who is a pick that you would like the Saints to have at number 9? Who would you like the Saints to have at number 9? Me personally, like, I agree with what Ryan said at the beginning. If Mason Graham was there, man, no brainer for me. No brainer. Dude just jumps off the tape. Jumps off the tape, man. I just think that he is that good. But let's go ahead and have a little fun. Let's have a little fun. I'll let y'all look before we get out of here. How about we just have a little State of the Saints podcast mock draft? How about we have that? Okay, how about we do that? All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up this mock draft. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put up this mock draft. Now we know that some of these things are just absolutely insane, like right now, but we're gonna go ahead and simulate this draft. Let's get all this extra stuff off the screen. And we're gonna go ahead and start it. All right. So we're gonna keep it the same way. We're gonna keep it the same way. We're not gonna do no trades or nothing like that because we never know. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this thing. Let it do its thing. All right. So they offering some trades. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and reject that. We ain't going to do it. All right. So the Saints got the 9th pick. Who do you think we need to select right here? Y'all think we need to select? All right. So they got Will Johnson that's available. He's the highest. Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams, Jade Barron, Jahai Campbell. Then you got Colston Loveland, Matthew Golden, Malachi Starks. So who y'all thinking, man? Hey, man, y'all, they know they tripping. They tripping. They still got Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter on here. Like, we ain't even gonna play that game. We know them dudes ain't gonna be here. All right. So you got Ashton Genty, Mambu. You got Tyler Warren, Will Johnson. Who we going with? Let me see. Who y'all want? Got Campbell. Campbell for Alabama. We got Campbell. Got Tech McMillan, but if Shadur is dead, 9, take him. In this draft, let me see. Quarterbacks that's available. Nah. You got Ward and Shadur Sanders. They both going. All right. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, wide receivers available. Nah, Ted McMillan already gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to draft Tyler Warren. All right. They gave me a B+ for that. All right. So now we're going to move on to the second round. All right. I'm only picking Tyler Warren because I feel like that's probably what the New Orleans Saints would have got. Probably would have been a huge mistake because could have probably rolled with Mason Taylor. Could have got a second, got him in the second round. But let's see who is available right here. So you got an offensive player. It's probably right for you to go ahead and get a defensive guy. Let's see. let's look who they got as an edge rusher here. All right. And let's also take a look at the defensive line. All right. You got outside linebacker, Donovan Jackson, pretty good player right there. Tyler Booker. All right. So who y'all selecting in the second round? All right. The highest player available is offensive lineman Josh Simmons. Then you got Tyler Booker. Then you got Walter Nolan. Who we going with? Let me scroll down. Got Jackson Dart here. Emeka Egbuka, he's still there. Maxwell Hairston, he's there out of Kentucky. Saints do need a cornerback. So who we rolling with? Somebody said Miro. Yeah, I don't know. So all right, so Big Valley said the best player available. So the best player available would be offensive lineman. Do you want to take offensive lineman in this? Right now? Do you want to take offensive tackle Josh Simmons? All right, so we talk about the best player available. Saints need a linebacker. Let's go with Tyler Booker. All right, they gave us an A for that. All right, so now you got a choice here. All right. Now, we know the Saints need a running back. All right, Quinshon Judkins, that's my guy right there. Now, I'm like, if it was me, I'm selecting him. But I also like Jaden Higgins, and we know that Jaden Higgins fits that mold of wide receiver that the New Orleans Saints need. We know that he fits that mold that what the New Orleans Saints need. When it comes to a wide receiver. You also got Trey Harris out here from Ole Miss. Mason Taylor's still on the board. I don't know about this one. I don't think they taking into account how this man performed at a pro day. All right, so are we going wide receiver? All right. I think we're gonna go wide receiver. I'm gonna wait for the chat. All right. So we going with Jaden Higgins or we going with Trey Harris? All right. So I got one Higgins, I got one Harris, two Higgins, two Harris, three Harris, four Harris. I see another Harris. So we're okay. So we got enough people out here saying Harris. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draft Trey Harris. All right. Let's get this out of the way. We got an A+. So the Saints getting Trey Harris in the third round is an A+. All right. So now we got another third round pick here. All right. So we got a tight end for the future. We got the wide receiver of the future. We got a possible starting linebacker in Tyler Booker. All right, so are we going to go defense or are we going to go offense? All right, what are we going to do here? Offense, defense, where are we going? Put it in the chat. Offense or defense? All right, Cartel says go cornerback, so defense. Cartel says defense. Don says defensive line, so another defense. Nose tackle. Calvin says nose tackle, so that's another defense. So defensive line. Brian says defensive line. So we're going to go and take a look at defensive linemen. All right, so these are the ones that are available right now. You got Deion Walker. You got Omar Norman Lott. Now, keep in mind, the New Orleans Saints, they spoke with this guy, right? They spoke with him at a pro day. You got Josh Farmer. I like this guy. I think he's talented. Really good interior, defensive lineman there. Tyler Robinson. All right. If we're talking edge rush here, you got Jordan Birchall here out of Oregon. Not really too in love with the guy. Talented, but, Oregon is not really known for their defensive linemen. So I like Deion Walker, but I'm just going to say Omar Norman Lott because I knew that the New Orleans Saints spent some time with him. So gave us another A. Gave us another A for that selection. All right, so now we're moving on. We got the 112th pick in the draft. All right, so we got two defensive players, two offensive players. I think it's time that the Saints take a look at running back. All right, because this is a deep draft when it comes to the running back position. If we're talking about guys that stood out, part of that top running back group, you got Amari Hampton, Ashton Genty. The next guy is RJ Harvey. Now, RJ Harvey to me is like that little bowling ball running back, kind of reminds me that of a Mark Ingram, gets stronger every time. Like he starts to carry the ball, starts to warm up a little bit. But I'm looking for somebody that can complement Alvin Kamara. He would be that guy. But you also have here Ollie Gordon II. Now, Ollie Gordon, big physical guy, 6'1", 6'2", about 230 pounds. Definitely is the opposite of Alvin Kamara. And also, he's a guy that can catch the ball out of backfield, very underrated as a receiving running back. All right, so I think that, you definitely got to be looking at running back here. DJ Giddens, good. Dylan Sampson is good. But I'm going to say RJ Harvey or Ollie Gordon. I'm going to roll with Ollie Gordon. They gave us a C+ for that. I don't know why, because I don't know. Gave us a C+ for that one. I don't know. They must don't know what we know. The Saints need a running back. They need somebody that's going to be, backup. Somebody said Scatterboo is still on the board. All right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was. Let me make sure. Let's see if he was still available. No, it looked like he's not on the board. So Jaden Blue would have been a good one, running back out of Texas too. But pick number 131. Like, what are the Saints doing here? I heard somebody, I think it was Cartel, say maybe taking a look at a cornerback. Y'all think maybe taking a look at a cornerback. So let's take a look at the cornerback that they have. You got Dorian Strong out of Virginia Tech. You got Noah Williams. You got Tommy Hill. You got Jordan Hancock. Jabbar Muhammad. You got Jalen Smith. You got Upton Stout, a guy that was a really good standout at Western Kentucky. No, we don't want to roll with no small school guys, right? We want some proven products. So it's pretty slim pickings right here. So I don't know. Do y'all think that it's worth it? Or maybe you need to roll over here to safety. So what we need to take a look at here, folks, what we need to take a look at, do we need to take a look at cornerback or safety? Cornerback or safety? We're going to try to get somebody in the secondary. What we need to take a look at, cornerback or safety? Put your comments in the chat. I'll wait on it. All right, so Cartel says safety. Valley says cornerback. All right, Slim says safety. Double K says cornerback. Okay, so we got a tie right here. All right, Jarrell says cornerback. Jack Hunter said William Strong, good. Defense, cornerback. So Jarrell saying cornerback. So we're going to take a look at the cornerbacks. I think that's winning right now. So let's take a look at the cornerbacks that are available. Dorian Strong, pretty good cornerback. Noah Williams out of California. I think that he's talented. Tommy Hill. You got Jordan Hancock, Jabbar Muhammad. You got Jalen Smith. Now, Jalen Smith, to me, is very, very talented. He got really good athletic ability. Needs some work, man. He's not the most polished cornerback. I think they got some things that he definitely needs to work on. Upton Stout, has been coming up the draft boards, especially having a really good 40 time. But we're going to go ahead and just go with the best available right here, man. Best cornerback available, so we'll just go with Dorian Strong. All right, Dorian Strong, is a guy that's been in a lot of big games, went up against some of the best the ACC has to offer, so we'll go ahead and give him that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on, all right, to the sixth round. All right, as we know, the Saints have 3 more draft picks here. I think here would probably be a good spot for you to maybe add an offensive lineman. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about possibly adding an offensive lineman right here? You can always just take a flyer on the offensive lineman at this point, or you can maybe go with a safety. They got some good safeties that could still be available. Some guys that can be some depth pieces. All right, you got Malachi Moore out of Alabama. You got Caleb Ranshaw out of Tulane. Got Dan Jackson out of Georgia. R.J. Mickens. All right. Got Shiloh Sanders on there. any Shiloh Sanders guys out there? Any Shiloh Sanders? Take the same shit. Draft Shiloh Sanders. Need to get one of Deion boys, huh? All right. And you got Robert McDaniel. You know, who I feel like had a really good pro day at Jackson State. You know, definitely climbing up draft boards. If I was to select that, I'd be extremely biased. I think the man need to hear his name called. Chris says Shiloh. You know, the heck with it. I don't care what y'all say, man. Look, we gonna roll with Shiloh Sanders. We're gonna get one of Deion Sanders boys. So we're gonna go ahead and select Shiloh. Okay. They gave us a D for that. They gave us a D. They gave him a D. All right, man. So you got a 6-round pick right here. You got a 6-round pick, folks. You got a 6-round. They gave Shiloh a D, man. They have to do. They have to do Shiloh like that, man. He better than that. All right. So let's have some fun here, okay? Let's see the quarterback that's available right here. All right, let's see what quarterbacks they got available. All right, they got Curtis Roick. You got Seth Hennigan, you know, threw pretty well at the combine. Got Graham Mertz, Peyton Thorne. Boy, they got some garbage on here. I'm sorry. Some guy, I don't call them garbage, but they got this is the boys got DJ on here from Florida State, man. Couldn't hit the back of a barn door. I don't know about that one, buddy. I don't know, man. We might have to pass on these. We might need to pass on these quarterbacks. I don't see nothing. The only person I would see on here that I would probably take a flyer on is Seth Hennigan. All right, so let's take a look, man. Let's take a look at wide receiver. You know, all right. You got LeJontay Wester, had a pretty good career at Colorado. You got Kendra Lambert-Smith. You got Jalen Lane. You got Will Shepard. You got Samuel Brown. Jimmy Horn. He got some dog in him, man. He got some dog in him. Got Arian Smith out of Georgia. What y'all think, man? What the Saints need to do with this pick? I'm going to let y'all decide. What we need to do? Never heard of them boys. We should just trade for these picks for the number one if this is how you roll. Hey, man, look, I'm talking about the positions of need here. Say never heard of them. Got all right. Slim says the best player available. So who is the best player available at this point? Who's the best player available? All right, the best player available on here is O'Donnell Fortain out of South Carolina, who I think is a talented guy. I watched him play quite a bit. All right, so do you want to go cornerback? I don't know. Look, I'll take a flyer on the offensive line. Who is the best offensive lineman available? Okay, so we'll just go with Dixon here. We'll just go with him. Best offensive lineman available. They gave us an A+. So, so they gave us a D for Shiloh. Gave us an A+ for Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. All right. And now the very last pick for the New Orleans Saints, pick number 254. Who is the best available? You got Junior Tafana, who is out of Utah. All right. He big. I'm pretty sure he's, of a Samoan, heritage. Can't go wrong with them brothers. They work real hard. They grind. Know you're gonna get their best. If that don't work out, it probably ended up being in the bloodline. I mean, I'm just just being honest, man. It just seems like if things don't work out in football, you can always go to WWE. That seems like that's always the route. But nevertheless, what y'all think here? You got Junior Tafana, you got Jason Marshall Jr. He's a cornerback out of Florida. You got Riley Mills. You got Mello Dotson, R.J. Mickens. What y'all think, man? What y'all think? What y'all think? Somebody said best available. Should we get the best available? What y'all think? I the best bet. Look, this man just looked like he gonna give you some type of protection. So we're gonna go with Tafana. All right. So here's our selections right here, folks. With the 9th pick, we got Tyler Warren. Number 40, we got Tyler Booker, linebacker out of Alabama. Number 71, we got Trey Harris. Number 93, we got Omar Norman Lott. 112, they got Ollie Gordon. I don't agree with that grade. 131, we got Dorian Strong. 181, we got Shiloh Sanders. 248, we got Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. And it was the final pick, we got Junior Tafana. All right. So that's the mock draft right there. That's what we got. All right. That's what we got right there. So congratulations. We did ourselves a mock draft together. I'll make sure that we have our annual State of the Saints podcast mock draft. Now, if you have not checked this out, ladies and gentlemen, we do this every single year. It's almost become like some type of there's some type of annual event where I give my take and give my selections of all of the Saints draft picks. All right. Now, I did get one right. Last year. The Saints did draft Spencer Rattler. Now, where he got drafted, I didn't have that, but they did draft him. So that give me a little bit of validity right there. But what y'all think, man? Which pick you wouldn't have selected? All right. Which one you wouldn't have selected? Let's take a look at some of the bad ones. All right. The ones that they consider bad. Tyler Warren, they gave a B+. I can understand they probably took Juwan Johnson signing into a play here. Tyler Booker, an A. I think that it could have easily been an A+. Trey Harris, they gave it an A+ because I think that he fits that Michael Thomas role. Omar Norman Lott, I think that's a good pick for the Saints if he's there. Ollie Gordon, I don't know, man. Like he's the opposite of what Alvin is when it comes to the running back position. Dorian Smith, big gamer, very, very competitive guy. Not the most athletic cornerback that you ever gonna see, but thought he played all right. All right, so what's one of y'all taking off? All right, Shadir Sanders and Ollie Gordon. Those were the two worst grades that we got during this mock draft. They say they did Shiloh bad, son. Yeah, they did your boy. They did him down bad, bro. They have to do that man like that. B+ on that mock draft, brother. Yeah. If I can move some things around, I only pick Tyler Warren because I feel like the Saints like him a lot, and they talk about him possibly being a generational type tight end. So that's the reason why I selected him on now. But it's all fun, man. We don't know what the Saints gonna do. I agree. Jerry hit the nail on the head too. He said just for fun, fam. It's just fun, man. Like if we all do a mock draft, and I probably end up having an episode. Let's do that next week. Stay at the Saints podcast homework assignment. We're gonna open up the phone lines and we're gonna let you read your mock drafts. We're going to get a couple people on here, let you do your mock drafts and tell us why you selected the people that you selected. Well, the players that you selected. We're going to do that next week. We're going to do a special mock draft State of the Saints edition. Who that nation going to chime in. So make sure you get your mock draft ready. Make sure you get them ready. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate you stopping by. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me. And I appreciate that. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. Hopefully we won you over. We got 527 people watching this right now. I ask that you be kind and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. And if you came in late, just checked it out, probably got involved in the mock draft, we probably didn't check out any more of the episode, I guess that would probably make you an after show boy.
Shots out, shots out, shots out, shots out, shots out. To them after show boys. Shots out, shots out, shots out, shots out, shots out. To them after show boys. They be tweeting and be posting. They be tweeting and be posting. They be tweeting. Yeah, them after show boys. They be tweeting and be posting. They be tweeting and be posting. They be tweeting. Yeah, them after show boys.
Shouts out to all the after show boys, after show girls out there. Really do appreciate it. This has been the State of the Saints podcast. Make sure you check out Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones. The newest episode is available. We recorded that live. Well, not recorded it, but it was a live stream tonight. If you're watching this on a Wednesday, make sure you check that out. Also, follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8. And until next time, all I got to say is, who that?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that?